Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do when you set up your listing in Amazon is to come down here and really identify where the best sellers, the alpha ASINs in the space, how they're categorizing their actual ASIN. Why this is important is that Amazon is going to attribute relevance based on the category and subcategory that your ASIN's in. So if we create a push cart and it's not in the same category as some of these other successful ASINs, we may not be seen as relevant for the terms that matter, and we're not going to get as much organic ranking for those terms. So just looking across here, you can see pretty clearly some of these top dogs in the space are all in the sports and outdoors and push-pull golf cart section. So if I just click on this, I can see the full lineage of all of the departments. So it's basically sports, outdoors, sports and fitness, golf, golf carts, and then push and pull carts. So that's the category that we want to put our listing in. So let's go over to Seller Central and you can see how this looks when you add a product for the first time. All right, so from your Seller Central account, you're going to come here to catalog and go to add products. And then I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon currently because this is our own creation. And then it's going to say to select a product type. You can just put in here golf push cart. And then it's going to have sports and fitness, golf, golf carts, push and pull carts. So that's the exact category that we want. Sometimes when you type in a word, Amazon may recommend a different category. And again, if it's misaligned with those best sellers, that's going to be very, very bad news for your relevancy and your organic ranking. So we want to get this right from the start. So this is the one we're going to select. And then from here, we just want to put in some of the basic information of the product we're actually uploading. So this is where you're going to want to put in your UPC code. And within the SOPs, if you just search GTIN, there'll be some information on how to actually set this up. We're not going to get into that here. The product name is basically where we're going to copy the title from our listing optimizer. We're going to plug that directly in here. Obviously, the brand name would be Birdie for us. The manufacturer would be Birdie as an example. And then is this product expirable? You're going to say no. That's all you're really going to do here on the first page. We can go ahead and add the advanced view and you can see some additional stuff that we don't need to worry about right now. The next thing is variation. Since we're just doing a single cart, we don't need to worry about that yet. There's some important stuff here on the offer section. So we're going to go ahead and put in our own SKU nomenclature here. We're going to put in a price. This is typically going to be one that you're going to launch with. And then the manufacturer suggested retail price. I usually make this like 40% more than what the actual price is. So let's say that we sell this cart for $100. I'd put this as like $140 or something like that. Just because sometimes they'll show a strike through price from MSRP and that would make it look more enticing. Quantity here's 1. The condition's obviously going to be new. Scrolling down here, this is super, super important. So most people when they come in here, they just leave this empty and then they go ahead and save it. And then the offer start date is going to be generated by Amazon. In our case, we want to make this so far into the future that it's stupid. The reason is that if we're manufacturing a product, let's say that they need to do the final packaging after we create this. Maybe they put an FN SKU on the product if you want them to do that. You do an inspection, it goes to port, it goes on the water, it lands here, it goes to a warehouse, and then it goes into Amazon. That could be 6 weeks, that could be 8 weeks, that could be 3 months. Who knows how long it's going to be? And who knows how many hangups may happen that may derail that. So we want this offer start date to be super far in the future. I usually make it like 6+ months out. So right now it is September 23rd. I would make this for like May of 2022, honestly. So I'd make this like 05, 01, 2022. So it's so far in the future that like the chances of us missing that date is super small. This is going to help preserve some of that honeymoon. Now, is there a chance that the honeymoon doesn't kick in until a product goes live? I mean, there's all kinds of debate and thought, which might be right too, but let's play it safe. Let's put this offer date well into the future so that we keep our listing suppressed and that we preserve any of that honeymoon power that's going to come in when we launch a product. If we come over here to compliance, there's really nothing that you're going to need to set up here just yet. Images is another important thing. I never upload an image when I'm doing this first initial upload. This is the one opportunity when you're doing anything with a listing on Amazon where you don't have to include the image. After we save this for the first time, let's say that you wanted to change some bullets down the line and you're like, crap, before we launch, I actually want to tweak some bullets. If you come in here to Seller Central to edit this particular listing and just say change and update a bullet, you're then going to need to be able to upload an image for this thing to be saved. So the only time you can save this without an image is when you're setting this up for the first time. Leave the image off. Having no image is a clear-cut way to suppress the listing such that it's not turned on before we want it to. And so again, we preserve that honeymoon period. So I never upload an image here when I'm doing this for the first time. Description, you might just want to put like push cart here, just something to hold it. Maybe put this here, push cart, just to hold it. Or if you're comfortable, you could throw all of your bullets in here now, right? So you could go ahead and add your 5 bullets. And then you could throw those bullets in, copy them in from your listing optimizer, then you're off to the races. Coming to keywords, same kind of deal. You could do target audience and all this stuff. That's where you could throw some of your additional search terms if you'd like. But it's really going to be these search terms here, the 250 characters that you're going to dump in here from your actual listing optimizer, throw those in. You can add subject matter, add some of these other attributes down the line if you'd like, but search terms is one that you want to kind of piece. Another critical thing to look at here. If we go to this more details section here on the far right, there's another critical date, again, that we want to put well into the future. So if we scroll all the way down here, it's this launch and release date section. So similar to that one on the other page, we're going to go ahead and put 05/01/2022 on this, because we do not want this listing to go live until we're ready to launch it. And that's basically all you need to do for this initial setup. This will give you the ability to pull the FN SKU if you want that label to be on your product. And it kind of gets it into the system so that while we're finalizing production and inspection, we can kind of have this shell ready to go. And then we can create the shipping plan, and then we can get everything squared away here. So you go ahead and save this and then kind of leave it as is. Before you go live and before you launch the product, that's when you'd come in here, you'd add an image, you'd kind of do those final button ups on the listing to kind of make it show ready, and then you're off to the races and you've preserved honeymoon this whole time. There's some additional stuff that we'll do with flat files just to make sure that we protect the listing as much as possible. Me personally, I like to do this initial setup here without an image and just some of the core things that we need without a flat file. And then later on, we'll use flat files to do some more detailed activities with the actual listing. But this is what you need to do to set it up. Couple key things: make sure that you're in the right category and you're replicating what the best sellers are. That's going to preserve the relevance of your listing correlated to keywords that matter, and Amazon's going to think you're similar to the other high performers, and they're going to give you similar relevance, especially because we've got a fully optimized listing and a good compelling offer that people want to buy. And then when we actually set this thing up, don't include an image when you first load this up, and then make sure that those offer, release, and launch dates are well into the future such that we never have to worry about this listing getting turned on before the product's actually ready to go to Amazon. So that's setting up a listing in Seller Central.